Welcome, Sarah Fasilat and Aline Gehring to the Sydney Film Festival. It's so great to have you both, in this conversation, even though it is virtual, and we wish you were here in person. Before we start, firstly, congratulations on your amazing film. It was so heartfelt. It really actually was really emotionally impactful, and I thought, even though it's like a German film, it's very relevant to Sydney as well as like a multicultural country where people are dealing with these kinds of issues every day. Before we get into the film, I want to ask how you guys came to become collaborators, because I read that you met at the German Film and Television Academy in Berlin. Sarah, do you want to go first?
First of all, thank you so much for having us. It's really exciting for us. Also, we can't be there, but still, I mean, it's Sydney, and we're so happy that the film is traveling around the world. And yes, Aline and I started film school at the same time. We are in the same year, and actually we started even with the first films. We started working together, and that's how we came together, yes.
I have to admit that for those who don't know in the audience, hi there, thanks to be here, thanks for watching our film and so on. But Sarah is a producer, so this is how we met, and it came out that she's also one of the most amazing actors I met. So of course the idea was close to make a film together, also because she had this idea of making a film about a woman that empowers herself. This is how we came along to just work on a script together. Yes.
Yeah, and Aline is of course the director. That's so true. We haven't really introduced ourselves. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yes. So Sarah, you star in the film, and you're the producer, and Aline is director, and you both worked on the script with Francie,
yes. Francie, she's also our DOP and one of the script writers.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like a very collaborative process working on this film. Did you ever find that you were like, had any challenges with like, your voice, or like making the script have a kind of clear single voice?
No, not at all. How do you say Herausforderung?
Challenge.
The challenge, thanks. The challenge was more to there is a matter of taste sometimes where you go, what dramaturgy you use, and like we had these classical conversations about classical dramaturgy or not, and do we drift there or do we drift there? But in the end, we really had very clear what we want to say, and every one of us. I don't know if you remember it the same, Sarah, but for me it was always an add-on from both of them. Like I had this let's say one idea of a scene, or the other one had an idea of the scene, and in the end we just had a more full scene because there are three heads.
Yes, and was also. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to ask you if you also think like this.
Yeah, I think it was also really good because, I mean, this is now my thesis film, and Aline and I worked earlier before, so we know a lot about our working processes. And I also knew how much I can trust when Aline has got a certain feeling, because when she has got a certain feeling, then she has to follow, and we also learned it together in the whole process. And I totally trust that, and that was also good for us. And of course, I mean, there has been some discussions because in some topics, some of us didn't know about some things, and we have to make it visible and explain it to the others to get the same understanding. But at the end, it was good because it was also a learning process for every one of us, and also to write a feature film script. I mean, we started in the film school with short films, and this was our first feature, and it was really a lot of learning. I mean, at the end of the day, we were also in between, we were in a status, even if we would somehow fail with the film and we would not finish, or I don't know what, we have achieved so much and we learned so much that we were actually totally glad about doing this and working together on this.
Yeah, I think like the film has such a like it feels to me as if it has such a singular vision, and it's like nice to hear that it was something that was very collaborative and everything fed into each other. The other question I had was, so I feel like in the past year, like there have been more open conversations about things like racism and xenophobia. Was it always your decision to have your feature film center around this idea, or like what drew you to this particular story about this character?
Sarah, do you want to answer this maybe?
I mean, it's somehow a mixture, because we wanted also to tell a story which is a matter of fact. That is why we're, for example, not really saying like where the characters are coming from and stuff like that. But of course, it's something which is considering and surrounding us, and we are always sadly, we are always confronted with those things. I mean, in our environment, I mean, we do live in Berlin, so Berlin is really multicultural, but still even here, and you've got sometimes this hidden racism things, which are even worse, because if somebody is telling you in the face, listen, you are this and this and that, you know, okay, you're an asshole, but you get it in front, you know, but these hidden things are really, yeah, they do hurt, and they do also put you in the position of hoping something, because if you call somewhere like for a job interview or whatever, and then you know exactly it's because of that, but they don't say it, and they tell you, yeah, we're going to call you on Monday or something, and they don't. It's also, yeah, I don't know, it's really complicated, and this is also in our film we experienced while we were doing the filmmaking. You know, Elaine, where we had this scene and we were also thinking, should we leave it in the film or should we take it out? Maybe you want to tell something about that?
In our film, as you just saw, there's this Farsi and Macedonian also. Like on the film set, we of course spoke English all the time. Not all the time, but mostly when we shot with Sarah Klimoska, who is from Macedonia. So there was this guy in this fairy tale who said, we are in Germany, you have to speak German. And this was really hard to go through while shooting, not only out of embarrassment for the actor, like for myself in front of the actor, also because it was very shocking that the topic we are shooting a film about is there in front of our noses.
Yeah, I think what makes, you know, the way you portrayed those issues so powerful is that it's also, you also like show like the full spectrum of these characters' lives. Like it's not just this event, but also their lives before, and like those moments of joy with, you know, with Nico and Rosa and them living their lives. And I was wondering, how did you balance, you know, those moments of lightness and like joy with the heavy material? Did you ever find that it was hard balancing those tones? Aline, you can start maybe.
For us, the most important thing was to not victimize our main character. Therefore, we started to build up what is her profession, what is she having for friends, how is the relationship, what is she doing in the time she's not working or not, like just hanging, is she active, is she passive, this style. And as you just saw in the film, she's more of a very active and self-confident person that has to go through such a heavy situation. And it was somehow never a question that we don't just show her then 50 minutes lying in bed. It was very, very clear for us that there were 2-3 scenes that show that it's really hardcore, but also then immediately go to the process of, no, I have to change something. There's not jumping someone in my life that makes me I change it. I decide that I change, that I'm in this situation and I will empower myself. And then there comes the help because I called for it. And this was the most important thing for us to do and to write. And I'm glad that you say that it's very balanced. It's good. It's a good sign. Did I forget something, Sarah?
No, it's actually, yeah. I mean, humor is also like, we've got somehow also the same humor. It's also why we're so connected in the whole process. And it's also important for us and not to, to lose this. And this is also what reality is. Like, I can remember when we were talking about this hospital scene, where often in films you see the people who has got beaten up or an accident or whatever crying, but in reality it's often not like this. You're more trying to calm down the other person and making jokes even if you feel really, really bad. But yeah, and this was also really important, which we also tried to bring through the whole film, even the meeting with Brigitte then in the flat and stuff like that.
I think part of what, you know, carries that Sarah is like your performance as well. I felt like I could track the journey of this character through Nico's, you know, mannerisms and the way that she carries herself throughout the film. I was wondering, what were the kind of like what did you keep focusing on when you were performing, and was the role emotionally demanding for you?
I mean, I really have to say that Eline and Francie also really, I mean, it was such a great work, and it was so much room and space to do what I wanted to do, and so much trust, which is also really helpful to do it. And Eline and I had also a lot of conversations about the role and how it has to be. And because I was like, she was giving me, okay, listen, we need this park scene. We're going to talk about the drug stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I did my research and I did everything she told me. And then we came on set and then collaborated again together, and it really worked out. And because she also knows me so good, she could really direct me in the direction she wanted it. And I could totally trust, you know, it was not a matter of doubt to say, oh no, are you sure? Are you not sure? Because yeah. And I also did this karate lessons for some years. So I got some karate belts now. And I also did, one day I was with this ambulance. I went around the city with this nurse ambulance thing and really met those people who are, who need this caring. And it was also, you take it within the role. It's making something with you.
That brings me to my next question. That's about the karate in the film, because I thought like one of the most like a beautiful metaphor in the film was when the karate master, you know, tells Nico that it's not really about being aggressive, but kind of, you know, staying calm and releasing your anger. I was wondering, why did you both decide to center the film on karate as well, Eline?
Wait, I have to think about it. Like, why did we do karate? Was it? No, it was not always very clear that we do it with karate. But I remember that Sarah met Andreas Marquardt, no? This character.
We definitely wanted to have this something physical. I know that when we started with the idea, we said we definitely want something physical, and we have to think about it. And of course, karate is not something which is so typical for women, for example, you know. And this was also what we were thinking about. Yeah, that could be really interesting, and the whole empowerment thing to make it to give it a change. And of course, when we met Andreas, it was also really interesting to have him in the film. And this is how it all came together.
Yeah, the most important thing for me was that there's this white man, like it's not just a white man telling her what to do and to calm down and then her life is better. It's also because Andreas Marquardt, for those who don't know, in Germany, he is quite a known man, because not only because he's a world champion in karate, also because he really went through a lot of very heavy stuff in his life, and there's a book about him, and there's a movie about him from Rosa von Braunheim, who is a quite famous director in Germany. So this we all knew from this guy that he went to this stage in life that Nico has to go through. So it was almost the most important thing for me or for us, that it's not about the sports and to just do a little bit here and it's really about this authenticity from someone who knows how she feels to give her what she needs in these moments. And because we also worked a lot with improvisation, as you might see also in the film, so it has to be a mirror that really knows what he is talking about. This is why I usually have to think, was it karate? No, it was more this topic that was important for us.
Yeah, I didn't know that about him, so I feel like that's a very good insight for our audience in his significance as a character as well. Also, another thing that struck me about the movie is that it's so centered around like women's relationships as well. So like, you know, Rosa and Nico is such an emotional core, and so is Nico's kind of burgeoning relationship with Ronnie. I was wondering, was this always planned that you centered it around women? Is that an important part of your storytelling, as also like women filmmakers and actresses and directors?
I always have to think with this question if men get it also for making films in man-centered movies. So of course, it's very important for us to work with women in a film team, and it was always very. We spoke it out loud. Like, of course, there were sometimes men on the set, but the environment was female, and yes, it was really the first time that I worked like this and felt a difference from other film sets, because I never worked with so many females. But it was also another way of shooting. We were not 30 people on the set. There were mostly 5, 6, 7. So it's easy to make 7, to acquire 7 women. But to ask for 30 women, it's quite hard. But Sarah, as a producer, maybe you have an idea about this question too.
Yes, because I mean, we did it also with 30 people. Francie and I, because Francie is our DOP and director, and I produced a film called Revolvo, and it was completely female. And
I didn't know.
Yeah, we were really
cool.
Just women on set, and it was really good. And yeah, I know what Elina is saying, and it's true, because I think men are not asked this question, but at the same time, it is. Unfortunately, it is like this, and women are not so visible in a lot of departments, especially when we come to the camera and lighting and stuff like that. And so, yes, it is important to do it and give the voice and the visibility, but at the same time, I think it's important to do it on a balanced way, not that the men feel like, okay, they are hated and nobody wants them. It's just about equality. It's not about we are against you. It's like, let's come together and work together on this, that we reach this equality.
Yeah, it is not a question that's asked to men, but I feel like it's still quite rare to see kind of like, you know, women at the forefront. So it's like really touching that this film is so like focused on that. I was also wondering about kind of the experience of launching your film like during these crazy times. Like how has that felt? How has the experience been?
You mean the COVID times?
Yeah, COVID time.
Yeah, this is very sad as a filmmaker, because it's not that we earn millions of euros with it. It's in the opposite. So it would be nice to travel a bit, but we don't. Sydney is like there was this email that you showed a film, and I was on the one half of my heart was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, and the other half was like, but I won't go. I was never before in Australia, so I almost left tears. Yeah, it's hard. It's hardcore. It's what can I tell you? I don't know. I think maybe for you guys, it's also something new to be in cinema again. No, I heard that especially in Sydney, it was quite hard the last.
It's kind of touch and go. Like I hope it's still great that this is part of the festival and that people will be able to access it, and the festival is still running. But yeah, it is a strange time to be viewing films for sure.
What an honor that you see Nico as your film in cinema.
Yeah, and I'm glad that the audience can see this beautiful film. And for like my final question, I was wondering what are your future plans for the film after this year? Yeah, and this festival.
You mean for Nico, the future plans?
Yeah, for Nico.
Yeah. So luckily we've got a lot of festivals where we're going to. Yeah. And which really touched us, because the fact that we can't go there, of course, but also we can't get the reaction of the audience, which you as a filmmaker, which this is so important to see how they react to the film, and which bit and parts do they laugh or cry or and stuff. We don't see that. We just see this whole Zoom thing, and that's it. And so we hope.
Plus, can you imagine that? Sorry. Plus, can you imagine that even I didn't see the film yet in cinema? I just have to tell you, because our German premiere will be soon. So just that you know, I will maybe, I don't know, the moments when the light go down, I will like faint or something. Sorry, Sarah, continue.
Yeah, and this is one festival in Berlin, the Achtung Berlin Film Festival, chose Nico as an opening film. So this will be the first time a real cinema experience for us and audience. And then we luckily got a distributor, and we're going to be in the German cinema in 2022. And then we will see if it also goes around internationally in cinemas. I mean, we've got international festivals where we're going to, and we hope that there will be international distributors who will also be like, okay, we have to show the film in the cinema. So if you know somebody in Australia, give us a call. We are happy to come with the film in the cinemas.
Hopefully there's some distributors for the audience.
Yes, hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us on this talk. Hopefully the audience got some insight into, this process, collaborative process, and this very special film. Thank you so much.
For the beautiful questions. Have the best festival time with nice films.
Thank you. Hopefully you can come one day soon.
Yes. I believe in it.